Welcome to this online course for corporate and business law. The purpose of this introduction is to give you an overview of the exam, also to discuss the materials which you should have in front of you and how to get the best out of those, so that once you've completed the course, you will be in the perfect position to pass the real exam. So the material that you should have in front of you, you should have a set of course notes, which we will work through in order using the lectures on this online course. And you will see that as we go through, we annotate the same notes that you have in front of you to help bring them to life, to help explain the key elements of each area. Before we dive into the full detail of the material that you have, let's just have a look at the introduction section, which talks about the end result, your exam. It's always good to have an idea of what you're aiming for as you go through the course notes. So let's just remind ourselves, the exam that you're going to sit is a 2-hour computer-based exam. And remember, for law, it is an on-demand exam, so you can sit it as and when you feel you are ready. So once you've gone through material and you feel you're ready to sit the exam, you can then book in for it. So as we can see here, it's 2 hours, and the nice thing about that is that the feedback that we get from our students is that it is not a time-pressured exam. So you have plenty of time to go through, look at the questions, think about them, and maybe come back and review them as well. Now, why is it that it's not time pressured? Well, because remember, law is all about words. There are no computations. You just need to read the information and see if you know it or not. Now, remember, the key is if you don't think that you know it, then please do still guess. Because worst case scenario, you'll get nothing, but the best case scenario is that you actually guess the correct answer and therefore will score the marks. So never, ever leave a question blank. The exam itself is broken down into 2 sections. So section A, you will have 45 objective test questions that will be worth either 1 or 2 marks each. And in total, that will account for 70% of the marks in the exam itself. Now, those questions will be a mixture of styles. So we're given some information about the question style. So they're likely to be multiple choice or multiple response. So you'll be given a particular set of information and maybe 4 possible answers that you need to choose between. I wouldn't get too stressed about those question styles because you will see all of them as you go through the material. It is worth noticing, though, that some of those questions will be just worth 1 mark, some of them will be worth 2 marks each. And really the only difference is that those 1 mark questions are likely to be less complex, so probably we'll only have, say, 3 possible answers to choose between. The 2 mark questions then will be more complex and therefore possibly more more possible solutions to try and choose, so maybe 4 to choose between. Section B then, we have 5 objective test cases. Now notice the word case here. So essentially what this means is that you'll be given a bigger scenario, so you'll be given more information with which your 3 questions will then be based around. So you'll have a mini case study, some information, and then 3 questions all based on that same scenario. What does that mean? Well, Section A is really all about testing the whole syllabus. So thinking about the breadth of knowledge. So do you know pretty much all of the key areas in that syllabus? So that means that those questions are mainly going to be knowledge based. So just understanding what the rules are. Section B then, well, what that enables the examiner to do is to examine particular areas in more depth. So not only testing your knowledge, but also being able to analyse and apply your knowledge to a particular scenario. So Section A, likely to cover off most, if not all, of the whole syllabus. Section B will then deep dive down into particular areas. Remember, as we said, all questions are compulsory, so you must answer them all. But remember, if you're unsure of one, please always guess. Make sure you don't leave any answer blank. You're given a link here to the details of the syllabus, but I wouldn't worry too much. We have made sure that our course material goes over all of the key areas of the syllabus in just the right amount of detail for you. What I would draw your attention to, though, are the idea of some technical articles. Now, ACCA themselves publish a lot of good articles on their website, and you're given the link to it there. I would absolutely thoroughly recommend that you do read them. So they provide additional information over and above the information that we have in our course notes. What I would suggest is that you wait to read them until you have done the tuition phase of the course. So once you've seen all the material, to help consolidate your learning, I would then go and look at the relevant technical articles. Please note, though, that some of these articles are fairly old. They were written quite a while ago. They're still absolutely valid because the technical detail of the law hasn't changed, but they were written at a time when the law exam was written. So you used to have to write a written answer in Section B. So all of the advice on how to write your answer clearly won't be relevant to you now, but all of the steps beforehand, so the thought process of identifying what is the relevant area of law, what is the relevant pertinent cases, how do they apply here, all of that is absolutely key as well. So before then, we now can start looking at our material. I'm just going to spend a little bit of time talking to you about your study planner.